The lesson.
Oh yeah.
If we're talking, if we're talking like when you're growing up in the sort of 80s period, I mean, one of the biggest rap crews of all time, NWA, came out of the West. And I think the first album would have been like 88, I think, 88, 89.
Probably before that.
87 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to remember, a lot of that stuff was already like in the streets.
Yeah.
So those albums kind of were like...
they came after.
Yeah, so the older homies had these tapes of DJ Quick and NWA and CMW kind
before
of
they sort of
before
hit
it
the
got a
mainstream
major record deal. So
and then so I guess in that period, when it's gone, you've obviously heard it before it was, mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember, about the West Coast and hip hop in that time when NWA sort of kicked the doors through?
Well, I mean, they were already legends. So you got to remember there was this thing, I'm way too young for it, but there was something called Uncle Jam's Army, and this is just legendary shit that there's a term we call factor. Like, I was not a factor. There probably wasn't 5 when the shit was popping off, when people were going to these parties, and let alone some of them were probably 15 or 16, but me, I'm not. So you're talking about probably late 70s and early 80s of music and people creating shit. So there was, Arabian Prince, who NWA pulled in from the beginning, and the Egyptian Lover and all these other people, and they're making their own its own kind of form of music at that point. Dr. Dre, even when Dr. Dre wasn't part of NWA first, he was part of some other shit, the Wrecking Crew. And he was Dr. Dre with looking like Prince. I mean, no disrespect, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
So they from a Prince era, they from that Jerry Curl disco 80s era. That's where the music was coming from. So was fucking East Coast rap. The motherfuckers was wearing fucking, for real, man, Sheila E. and all that shit. Like, they look different. So for me, I can't relate. I'm just a kid that comes in, and I'm late. Like I said, I'm trying to throw a rock the furthest. I'm not caring about no music. Honestly, the first thing that probably resonates with me that I like ever is a Duran Duran song. Honestly. Because I always liked Duran Duran. Probably fucking Save a Prayer. I was just fucking ill record. Took me a year ago to figure out it's a gay nigga talking about a gay nigga. And I was like, oh shit, okay. I mean, I knew he was gay, but I was just like, oh, the song's, it's fucking brilliant. Ill-ass record. Like, he's talking like, don't save a prayer. Like, you saw me standing by the wall, corner of a main street. He's like, dude, like, you saw me, whatever. That's just ill writing. The beautiful record, sentiments ill, you know what I'm saying, whatever. All the NW, all that shit, like, it was already happening, but so was, at the same time, so was everything Ice-T was doing, everything, you understand what I'm saying? Everything that, what's the big homie? Fuck, I can't think of his name right now. He helped do Friday. He's in Friday with the one that, yeah.
Now I'm trying to think.
That's the big homie. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, DJ Pooh.
Yeah, so Pooh. There's so much happening. There's a song called The Bataram, which was there's so much shit that's happening, but I don't know what a Bataram is because I don't sell dope. So how could I fucking understand that at fucking 5? I know the song, You Can't Stop It, Baby. But so do I know fucking, I know Willie Nelson records and Michael and James Brown records, but I wasn't born. I wasn't a factor. They didn't affect me emotionally. They just were soundtracks to life. I know Liza Minnelli records, but I wasn't doing shit when Liza Minnelli was popping off. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was late to the rap shit. I was too busy throwing rocks the furthest and trying to wear these stupid pants. So the girl would like me. For real.
Yeah, nothing.
And one day I looked up and amongst all this amazing shit and was like, oh shit. This Run DMC shit is crazy. And this Rakim dude just said this and KRS-One and EPMD And NWA said, fuck the police, and this is the best shit I've ever heard. All this shit. For me, it was like a one-day realization. The shit had been happening all this time. It just wasn't on my radar. I'm not a music-driven person. My father's not music-driven. My mother tries to sing opera, and she sucks. So we are not, I don't have soul records at my house. That's not how I grew up. My dad's a fucking Marine and an LAPD officer. He ain't got no soul music around. That's just not how he got down. My grandmas and grandpas from Louisiana, they're first generation Creoles. They busy fucking, they don't some other shit. I just come from a cultural different background than even most California, most SoCal black people. My background, my story's different. Not most black, especially my complexion. I used to be the darkest kid in my family. That's what Soul and Ice is about. I don't come from, we're not blacks as considered by my grandmother. She was like, we're Creoles. We have a different backstory. We speak French, we eat this kind of food, and we're fucking Catholic. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, fuck rap. They didn't know what the fuck that was. Yeah. So for me, I'm like, me and my cousins become some of the first to be introduced to this Western lifestyle shit. The gang banging, like, this shit, this same West Coast living that I'm talking about, my uncle, my grandmother's son, it killed him. He came out and couldn't survive in the climate. You know what I mean? So, like I'm saying, like, it's just, for me, my story's different. That's why my whole reaction towards it, I actually have I'm a big fan of the music, but a lot of times I hated a lot of people trying to promote this shit like it's super fun, because when you look back and I'm looking at my friends that are dead, my friends that got, stressed the fuck out and smoked way too much and smoked the wrong shit, the lives that have been lost, thrown away. Like, I don't like that shit overly promoted, especially if no disrespect to, most of the pioneers, but a lot of people came out and used it as a stepping stone to promote a very one-dimensional view of black people. And promoted some shit that they would never do in their real life. They're fucking cowards. They wouldn't do that shit. Like I said, I'm from one of the worst parts, and never said I was the toughest by any means. But even if, when people do enough research about who my homies are, who my family is, we did legendary shit. We don't run around promoting it like that.
And then I guess if you fast forward the clock a little bit now to, say, early 90s, and we were sort of talking about this a little bit the other day. One of the most legendary, another legendary West Coast artist, a lot of years, that came out in 91, I think, was Snoop. With that, there was a song off the Deep Cover soundtrack.
That was the name of it, Deep Cover.
Yeah. So, I mean, tell us what you remember from that, because we were, chopping it up.
Well, all right. So this is, first of all, I have to give a backstory. I became popular for rapping. I figured out that if I dressed cool and said my raps, I didn't have to do much of anything else. I figured out that I wasn't going to the NBA because I'm not tall, and I wasn't gonna go to fucking NFL because I'm not big and wide. And I was like, fuck this shit. I know how to be relevant and popular. I'd already figured it out. For some reason, girls said I had a nice face and I dressed cool and I could dance a little bit and I could rap my ass off. So that was stuck to my guns, and that's what kept me cool. In 8th grade, is that correct? Maybe 9th. There's all these different people from all kind of cities that are popular, and some of the homies had not homies at the time. They're different ages, different factors, whatever. There was some dudes, Perfection. So this group called Perfection had a group. They were based out of a place called Dominguez which is close to Carson. And the other part was out of Long Beach. So if you ever hear Snoop, well, you remember he said perfection is perfected, so I'm going to make it understood from a young G. That was the group, Perfection.
Wow.
So one day they came to my middle school, and it didn't go good. And I got blamed that I made the entire school boo. And we used to have these bopper, we call them bopper clubs. So there used to be these like 14 to like 18-year-old clubs, all even in LA, everywhere. Had them in Long Beach. So we used to have these bopper clubs. It was really dope. Like whatever happened in LA, like we used to have this community. This shit was dope, man. Like things that, you know, you can ask DJ Battlecat about this shit because he used to DJ a lot of these shits. It was just this different thing, and all the kids could come together and listen to music. We was fighting and hit niggas with 40 bottles. We was bad kids, but it wasn't a grown-up club. It was like these kid clubs all through LA, period. So anyway, long story short, Snoop and them blamed me because I was popular. And it wasn't Snoop per se, but whatever. The whole group said I made the school. So there was always contention, and they were older than me. So I'm like, how did I make the whole school boo? But I was sitting in the front laughing, so whatever. And so it literally all around the city, and it's a big-ass city. Like, you got to understand how big LA is. So from Westchester to fucking, fucking Laguna Beach, like, and outside of LA County, even in Orange County, like people are getting popular, like these pockets. So we ended up piecing all that out, but I always had a little resentment, like y'all blamed me. And, everybody's comp, and there was Domino, there was a dude named Radio in Long Beach, rest in peace. So it was a lot of comp, and then actually I feel like Domino might have came out before Snoop. I think Ghetto Jam might have came out before Snoop. I'm not sure.
It would have been it could have been because Ghetto Jam would have been 1990 or 91.
Yeah,
and then
man.
Snoop did Deep Cover in 91.
Yeah.
So it could have been just before.
And I knew Battle Cat. I knew Domino from Long Beach. So I'm just like, okay, Domino, it really was that kind of war. Like, you didn't know who was going to win. And they were older than me, but I was working with Battle Cat. So I knew Domino anyway, and Radio was dope. He could beatbox and he could kind of like sing and he could rap. It was just a lot of different talents. But of course, everybody's like, I think I'm better than, or my crew's better than your crew or whatever. And then, long story short, Snoop came out the gate with the deep cover shit and fucked everybody up. Like, doom, 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 doom. I was like, what the fuck is this? So he gunned down. I was like, oh, you can't beat that one. You can't beat that record. That shit was hard as fuck. So it was just that journey, man. And honestly, the most ironic part is that's why I picked Priority, is because once I got my opportunity, I ended up going to jail, fucking off my opportunities more than once. I ended up getting, and this is something you can ask them, I got Farside their record deal as a kid, and then went to jail again. That was my record deal. Farside's record deal was my record deal.
The
Paul
delicious
vinyl. Yeah. I introduced him to Paul in Oakland.
Oh, and you were going to get a deal to Delicious Vinyl, but you got locked up.
It was my deal, and they were outside. They couldn't get inside to this Gavin, this music seminar. They didn't have a pass. They couldn't even get in the hotel. And but I knew them from what we call housing, dancing, from b-boying. And it's like, we trying to get a deal. I was like, well, I got, all these, executives in my room, and I used my pass and got them in, and they did Your Mama. And a cappella, like no music. Shit was funny as fuck. I already knew I was going to jail anyway. But they'll tell you, like, they'll say now, it's been a journey, man. Like, I'm glad, because what was I going to do with a record deal with going right to fuck to jail? I was fucking up. And then while I was in jail, Wino, I would call collect, and Wino was like, Coolio from the Mad Circle got a record deal. I'm like, yeah, whatever. He's like, you guys get it focused, Raz. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got you. I believe in you. It was like, and Coolio got on the phone, like, it's like WC in the Mad Circle and all that. And I was just like, because it was low profile to WC in the Mad Circle. And then Coolio on the phone. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Back then I'm, whatever, saying, because we grew up in the neighborhood, so I was saying the cuz, I used to cuz, whatever. I'm like, yeah, cuz, whatever. But yeah, that's the journey, man. Just amazing, man. I had a crazy, the journey's never not been crazy. And just cool. And as soon as I got out of jail, I see Farside, they're already on their second album. They shooting the backwards shit.
Drop.
Yeah. And doing fucking, Running Away.
Yeah, running.
And telling me how Won't Catch Me Running inspired that. I'm like, oh shit, cool, you know, whatever. And outside of that, fucking, basically, Coolio's putting out an album and the shit's about to go platinum, and he's like, come on, little stupid kid, and you can go on the fucking around the country with me, go on tour and pay me to fucking be an asshole kid. I'm like, wow, it's like I've been very, very blessed through the journey, man. That's just a small modicum of just my beginnings before I even get to become Ras Kass with a record deal, bro.
The last 927. Oh yeah.